YouTubers? Today we're going to take an initial look at the Boker DBK Dutch Bushcrafter Knives Bushfriend 2000. So for those people that can't afford or didn't want to expend for the full DBK Bushcrafter knife, here it is. This is an LMAX made by TRC. Let me go ahead and put them horizontally like this. We'll go ahead and just straighten things up. So this is the original DBK knife, Bushcrafter. A little bit shorter shorter blade, 4 inches or so. We'll jump into specs on this. But this is LMAX. This is a Scandivex. So it's basically, it has your convexed, full convex down here into a essentially saber grind, but Scandi grind. Versus the Bushfriend 2000 is going to be a flat grind with a V-edge on there. It's very, very sharp. The edge is very good. In terms of the thickness of the spines, they definitely, well, you know what, let's just start jumping into some of these. So the original DBK Bushcrafter is 0.15 inches, and the Bushfriend is 0.14. Very similar blade stock. Stainless steel on the DBK Bushcrafter, and then the Bushfriend 2000 is 80 CRV2 non-stainless high carbon steel. So let's go ahead and put this one out of here. This one prices in, gosh, I want to say 450 bucks or something. It's insane. We'll kind of jump into other comparison knives. This is not a review. This is just kind of an initial look-see. The Joker Knives Ember. Oops, I'm going to move this up here. The Joker Knives Ember, which has a very good leather, and I think probably when I can compare them one for one, I think the Joker Knives is a little bit better made. Very similar, though. You know what? It might be a 50-50 wash on that in terms of the leather sheaths on this one. So let's take a look at this one. It's obviously just slightly bigger. It's also 0.15 blade stock. I did measure that. Already did a full review. I'll go ahead and link that up there of the Joker Knives Ember. A little bit shorter blade, 4 inches. I believe this is 4.25. We're going to get to that in just a second. So this knife goes for about $135, which is essentially exactly the same price as this one. Made in Solingen, Germany. So Guten Abend. Shoot, sorry for all those people from Germany. I think that's what it was. I looked it up and I forgot what it was. But this is the LT Knives, basically Bushcrafter knife. Already did a review on that. I'll link that up in the corner too. A little bit, again, 4-inch blade, a little bit shorter. Micarta, that was Micarta on the Bushcrafter. This one is Micarta 2 as well. A little bit thicker, slightly thicker, but a little bit less Coke bottle kind of contouring there. They're both kind of fairly neutral grips. And so yeah, this is 1075. This one I do want to go ahead and show the blade stock on this one is ridiculously thin. So the LT Right is 0.08, which is great for a high carbon steel. Beat the snot out of this one. Yeah, and I would say this one is very, very an excellent sheath. So I'd say the sheath on this one might be a little bit better. $109 for that. 132, Solingen, Germany, made in the USA, LT Right knives. Again, both high carbon steels. And then the last one, like I kind of think is maybe, kind of like in between the DBK Bushcrafter and this one. This is the White River Knives Firecraft 4. Also, again, Micarta has a very good, awesome, comfortable hand. Haven't done a full review on that one yet, but obviously it's designed towards Firecraft or I think it could be bushcrafting, but in terms of the context of this particular one has a nice flat grind. By the way, the Joker has a Scandi grind, and then there's the flat grind on the LT Right as well. So I think, this kind of falls somewhere in there. I think it might be most similar. This one, let's take a look. I don't know I haven't done a review on this. 0.13 blade stock. So yeah, this one has an absolutely fantastic Kydex sheath. It does come with the fire steel as well. Yeah, this particular one, this is excellent. So this one goes for $250. So you're kind of in those ranges from $109 to all the way to, yeah, if you want to go to whatever, $400 fixed blades. Yeah, so You know what? Let's go ahead and pause it here. Let me go ahead and do some of the measurements. I think this is 0.14. Yeah, I might have already measured that. Let's go ahead and look at the length of the blade. 4.32 ish inches. So yeah, 4.32 inches. Um, just a nice length of a blade. A little bit thinner here, smaller hands. The DBK Bushcrafter is definitely thicker, which I even wanted that one to even be a little bit thicker. For myself, medium large hands, I think kind of my preferred is the thickness of this LT Wright one. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. The LT Wright is 0.84 width, and at its widest spot in the Coke bottle is 0.74. So, you know what? Not bad. Not too bad, all things considered. And but I will say, from the outset on this one, the DBK Bushcrafter, or the Bushfriend. Sorry, this is the Bushfriend 2000. This was basically they wanted to build a really good bushcraft knife, but for people that didn't want to spend $4,000 or $400, not 4,000, $400, and wanted kind of a more modest one they could beat up. This particular one has a black coating. I think it's somewhat of a powder coating. It definitely has that feel. It's not like it doesn't seem like a DLC. It's not going to reduce friction. It just says black coated, which usually means kind of powder coating, which is essentially a high performance paint that is cooked on and lasts a little bit better than let's just say straight paint, which is going to come off right away. Which you might see on some of your Boker knives, like the ones made in China, the Boker Plus knives. So the handle is made of Richlight, which is essentially paper micarta, and I will say that's fantastic. When things get wet, there's nothing better than paper micarta, and this is going to be absolutely awesome. So yeah, on the whole, it feels really good. Look forward to a future review on this. It may or may not be this summer, but for those interested in wondering if this is a good buy, I think for $135, when stacked up against the LT Wright, which is 109, I think it's a pretty good value. The kind of against the White River Firecraft, again slightly shorter blades, flat grind. Oh yeah, by the way, this one is S35 stainless steel, so neither of these is stainless steel. That's why this one would make sense that it goes for a little bit higher price. S35 EN, stainless, but also retains really some of that toughness, and it does in fact come with that fire steel on there. I think probably the closest you'd be talking about is really looking at a Joker Knives Ember. Again, shorter blade, little bit 0.15 thicker stock. This one has a Scandi grind. Excellent knife, $135, $132, $109 is what you're kind of looking. That was last available. This one may go up to like 119 if I had to guess. The ones that are in A2 semi stainless steel are 130 or 129 or $130. So they're essentially the same price range, all these. And I think this is probably pretty good, as an option out there. And we'll look forward to doing a full test on this one. Just wanted to kind of get some, for those people that want to kind of know what you're getting out of this. You're going to be getting a little bit thinner blade than some of your other bushcraft knives that you can get for similar priced, but similar materials, stainless, stainful. Yeah, but nice contouring on it, and yeah. So I think the Bushfriend 200 or 2000, golly, is pretty darn good for what's going to be, and we'll find out more when we kind of beat up a little bit on it. I have no doubt Boker's been making knives for, I don't know, 150 years, certainly a long time. I know it's in excess of 100 years. That their heat treat is probably just going to be fine on 80 CRV2 steel. So that's all I got to say about this one as far as just kind of an initial look-see on the Bushfriend 2000. I appreciate the like and subscribe. If this was interesting or useful, take care. Oh, I realized I didn't kind of show the sheath a whole lot. Decently thick leather, not super thick. It's going to probably be standard. It's got a nice dangler here, not a removable dangler. So it's going to be good. You can just go ahead and let that down by the side if you want to go ahead and put this through your belt. hold it on there. The knife has a nice little lanyard hole there, which is good. The lanyard or the sheath does have a decent little for a small fire steel, and I think it's pretty well made here on the whole. Definitely, it's got that nice little layer in there for as your blade rubs up against that going in there, and yeah, I think it's on the whole pretty dang good value. You know what? Gotta get it handed to the Germans. Did a good job on this, and for I think a fair price.